canvas in wild abandon. I sighed in awe of nature's rich palette of beauty as my breath deepened with the fresh, cool air. On another evening, a panorama of bright stars scattered the night sky. Could I count them all? No, never. Too many. For I was about to fall asleep and join them in my dreams. And this poem doesn't have a title. How can I say yes to love when I have fear and all its worry? When I have anger and all its unhappiness? When I have sadness and all its loss? It's not okay with my heart anymore to keep saying yes to these tricksters, to give myself over to their subtle and not so subtle tyranny, so that what I see is trouble, what I feel is lack, and what I think I know, what I say to myself, narrows my livingness. It's not okay with my heart anymore. How can I say yes to love instead, all the time, everywhere, no matter what is jumping up and down, shaking its cage for me to let it out, to give it company, co-commiserating in the litany of woes of human problem-making? Why should I take on your problems, O fear, that believes not in the life which I am, the light which I am, the love, the peace, the joy? Cunning though your ways, persistent and loud, think what you will, you can never have my presence, my true presence, my power, that invisible power that never really leaves. The journey to love begins with only one step, one moment. This step is never ending. This step is never ending.
Whoa. That brings us to me. Let me just get this. There we go. Now my voice has its regular tone.
Tell us your name again. Amber wants to.
Margaret Thatcher. That's my name. People call me Marge.
You're looking better.
Oh yeah, you know. No, actually, Daniel Brady, the host of this fine venue, and the persons who hope that everyone here is having a good time this evening, which I'm about to change. Okay, so I'm going to do two poems this evening. And one is called Coverage. It's very short, but it doesn't cover much. Oh, never mind. Okay. Coverage. From our heartland, feels... Thank you very much.
Quick, 3 minutes?
10 seconds.
And thank you. All right, I'll start again. My name is Daniel Brady, host of this wonderful event, and for those people viewing in, I welcome you to this wonderful, happy event here. I'm reading two poems. Coverage. From our heartland, fields of corn and green wheat, outside his window and near the high school, a small town boy, man, proud to serve, a stand-up guy, open doors, prayerful and kind. He went to another world, a dusty, gray, and dying land. It was just another day. It was an abandoned pomegranate grove. In the photo, his blue eyes searched the sky. Huddled over his shredded legs, they told him, "You'll make it. It's okay. Look at me. Look at me." And it was the story about him, the long delay in its download due to the advertisement for a new car. The dust whipped up, a helicopter's shadow, its dark silhouette, will take him to where he will die. In that one photograph they each paused to look at on their cell phones, his final moments, is the one photograph no one sees because no one will risk publishing. On Labor Day, in one town, one family has questions for the president. Okay, thank you so much. And this is in the category. It's called the dialogue. And if you like cats, you'll like this. The dialogue. You know, one day I was sitting alone in my easy chair, the window was open and the spring breeze was particularly sweet. The sun was streaming in, keeping me warm, and I could lean back and rest. So I closed my eyes and did just that. There were some birds calling, the sound of leaves and trees, and dappled sunny colors played on my eyelids. Then, perhaps right as it was all perfectly peaceful and I was settled, comfy cozy, a few dream shapes flickered and memories whispered, the cat, ever so lightly, hopped up on my lap. Now, I didn't react. I was relaxing, easy, and he seemed to understand, for he paused, lay down, and curled into sleep. I knew what he was thinking. Ah, this is the life. Here's a nice big lap of a human dozer. It's a quiet day. I like that nice bit of breeze. We have some sunshine going on in here, and he's not going to be moving anytime soon. Yep. Got some good naps in today, chased some stuff, played with that damn ball of his, but now there's just this. It just doesn't get any better than this. I could tell all of that by the way he'd gotten up and curled into a snuggle. Without looking, I knew his eyes were smilingly closed. So I whispered, "Yup, I agree. It just doesn't get any better than this." And my cat rubbed his head ever so slightly, nuzzling my thigh. I had a thought about something from work, and the cat stretched just one paw so its claw caught just a bit. I dreamt of the heavens, the sprawling magnificence of the jeweled firmament. He began a soft purr. And when I thought of a friend, he gave one of the softest meows I ever heard. And so, in conversation we remained, and so we traveled very far that day, this cat and I. And when I began to think about dinner, I felt his tail switch. I was sure of that. And when I yawned, he stretched. And then we both looked at each other for a long, strange moment. Oh, we'd had our wonders before, our dialogues, more than once, but now we knew just one thing. It was certainly time for dinner. There you go. Thank you. All right, that takes us to Chris.
Okay.
He's coming up here after.
Because of that poem you read, I'm going to read my cat poem.
Oh, good. I like segues.
And I just wrote that right here.
Oh.
And first I want to introduce my brother, Marley, and my father, Stavro, and my father, Marley, and my brother, Stavro.
Extended family, I like that.
My cat Bastet, one innocent, loving me unconditionally, and vice versa. This will keep me alive if all the world dies. As long as she lives, I will live, because I have never failed her, only her. You think I'm kidding? My knife is ready, and I am not afraid to die, and I do not intend to fail with Bastet. When everything goes wrong, when the pipe bursts on the day of the funeral, when your true love dumps you on the phone, when you snap at your beloved friends who are trying to help you because you tell them how hard things are, when President Barack Obama has to reinvade the country he built his administration on promises to get the hell out of. We are spoiled children in America. We know nothing of the unavoidable object and the irresistible force. We know nothing of drones taking the lives of women and children and everyone but the intended terrorist target. We know nothing of 6 million Jews genocided by their brothers and sisters in Germania, then ruled by a madman, convinced that he was right. We know nothing, nor we will ever know, of the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, nor what really happened on 9/11. When everything goes wrong and prayer fails, magic fails, sanity fails, what are we but strips of burning paper from an incendiary garbage can at a Buddhist funeral on a cold morning in the Sunset District in our next door neighbor's yard? Hot dog $1, life $1, hope $1, but you just don't have that $1 because your bank account is frozen. We are spoiled children in America, with our iPads and our computers, where the entire grid could be turned off in a second, and the redneck stopped piling guns would be the only survivors. There is no brave new world, just the same cowardly world. There's not even a world either. We think a few know the answers, control things, but maybe Mama Eris really runs the show. We are pigeons in a pigeon drop. Our state is the Titanic. Our world is a sitting duck, waiting for that one fatal giant goose. So what, little man who has figured out all we do when everything fails? I have searched my life for a substitute for denial, and all I have found is acceptance of a river in Egypt. Like those old Vikings, the time of my birth and the time of my death were fixed before I was born. Yet we must fight, not to win, for the ecstasy of courage, the leap into the void, the moment of facing bad luck with joy, or not. Why? Because victory and the fight is ours. It is ours like ecstasy and death. It is the only choice that cannot be taken away. If you're Socrates, that is. In the Golden Age, with 50 philosophers and 500,000 slaves. Poets. We are the outcasts. We are the fools. We must never organize. We must never be a church or a government or a way of being. We are against. Non serviam is our motto. Picasso said art is a lie which reveals truth, but I say we are all liars par excellence, and there is no truth. We kiss the Blarney Stone, and with a fiddler on the roof, we entertain the gods, and they fuck us silly. We are the weavers of deception, the late night comics on some droll Tonight Show. We take nothing seriously except our ability to see and hear and speak. That's a thankless job, but nobody should have to do it. We are outlaws. The more we are paid, the worse our work gets. We have no clue what makes us tick. And if we did, we'd go into watchmaking. And we sure as hell wouldn't tell you.
All right, Bonnie's coming up now, and I believe this is her first time here, isn't it?
Yes,
So let us give her a royal tribute. Come on, people.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thanks.
Just
I have two poems. They have to do with the Canadian winter and the Canadian spring. Reading break visitors. My planned uneventful weekend was not. 2 out-of-town visitors for one night ended up being 3 visitors. The unexpected third, unable to get home on any flights as a standby passenger, stayed 2 nights. Our predicted snow arrived, changed to rain, then to snow again, but it never really stuck. Other parts around and outside of Vancouver had more. Due to avalanches and record snowfalls, the Coquihalla was closed for the first time in 27 years. It did not reopen for 2 days. Our 2 visitors returned by Greyhound, a 15-hour trip of snow-covered roads, avalanche alerts, mountain passes. Our 3rd visitor remained stranded until the 140 paying passengers got out on their flights first. I was thankful to not be a university student having to travel by bus from Vancouver to Seattle return and then back to Calgary, or be delayed getting a flight to Halifax, missing 2 midterms. And the second one is about spring, and spring can be very different from one city to another in Canada. For example, in Calgary, when I was there in March, and in Vancouver, you can get flowers in February. Signs of spring. In Calgary, flowers rarely bloom until June. During my visit this March, of ice-glazed sidewalks, lanes, brown lawns, hard, crusty snow remained. Fresh snow blanketed my parents' lawn driveway. More snow fell during May. In Vancouver, I have seen pansies this February, daffodils, crocuses, tulips, cherry trees blossoms appear in March, April. Roses bud, rhododendrons bloom each May. Lavender fills the traffic calming circles, hydrangeas frame benches' backs. Purple wisteria with their vanilla scent drape a trellis, shade 3 benches at Regent College, UBC. Thank you.
All right. Just so and we're going to come to our feature at this point in time. Margaret Riddell, a beautiful poet and a wonderfully well-known writer. I'll say a few things. She is very good. You will like this. We are glad to have you here. So come on up and read your heart out, as it were. Give her a nice big round, please. This is okay. Yes, I can sign so you have to take.
Thank you. And thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that really wonderful introduction, Dan. I really appreciate it. That's great. I'm so glad to be here. I'm Margot Riddell, and I'm reading poems from a few things. This is single San Francisco so far. These are all from my blog. I hope you enjoy them. A lot of them are very short. They can sneak up on you. So here we go. The big question. He asked me the question, the one I dread to answer. Are you seeing other people? What I'd really like to tell him is that my heart's desire is for him to carry me off to church with steeple, to marry without further ado. but I've got a plan, just in case I don't get to spend my life with you. Full circle. A man who once broke my heart called to tell me his heart was broken by another woman. I didn't feel happy or sad. I unloaded my dishwasher while he was talking and washed my hands. Red-haired and hunted. Red-haired, handsome guy, I'm always attracted to you. Your fiery colors, self-confidence, and a haughty personality. You think you've got style, you're better somehow. Your pride and self-love attract me like a moth to fire. Friendship in a Facebook world. Facebook says I have a new friend. I thought I had friends before now. I thought I had other friends, friends who are not on Facebook and don't even know what Facebook is. Someone else looked at my Facebook profile and said, your 17 friends love you. Some invitations come from people I've never met. What exactly is a friend? I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with Facebook. You're not all that. About my poetry after we broke up, you needn't worry. Only 1 or 2 are about you. Shoveling yourself out of it. Shoveling mouse poop out of an old closet is like getting out of a bad relationship. You have to deal with a lot of shit. On being loved. It's better to be loved than to love unrequited. At the very least, you get treated better. Dump the one who treats you poorly. A word of advice. If a man cancels a date with you twice, refuse him any third opportunity. He'll never treat you well, no matter what hell he says he's going through currently. Google. Substitute for deity. Google knows everything. Watch yourself, watch what's posted. You may find your information hosted by someone you don't know. Courage. It takes courage to talk about what you truly love, your source of inspiration. What if the other doesn't feel it? What if I'm left exposed? Ode to a missing phone. I can't believe I lost it. It's not here or there. I peer under car seats and piles of underwear. Where could it be? Where could I have left it? An absent-minded person needs a phone and can't quit looking until she's found and blessed it. Friendly advice. You look great, but change your hair. Get your nails done. Buy new clothes. Put on your makeup. This is my friend's advice. I don't tell her to lose 20 pounds because I'm too nice. Death by 1,000 emails. The ball and chain is what a young man calls his laptop. The laptop bag tattered from use, unable to escape email or the constant buzzing of BlackBerry and phone, like cement blocks on his feet, sinking him to drown. Modern artist. An artist frustrated, paints houses for a living, feels unsatisfied. His art, so beautiful, powerful, varied, comes out from time to time. Shy soul, unable to market his wares, puts his energy into other people's houses, leaving it behind.
Yeah.
Confession. I wrote a poem about you and titled it Adonis. I told him. But we haven't made love, he said, surprised. His smile showed he wished we had or would. That was all I needed to know to make my day and night bright.
There you go. Just for this year.
No. First kisses. I want more than just one kiss. I do too, he said, looking at me playfully. He kissed me again and left suddenly. Action hero movie. Don't get too turned on by those muscle men. I am your hero, my handsome friend said. Can you imagine how elated I feel? A man I compare to gods wants to be that for me. Dinnerware. He looked at her, he looked at me. She in high-necked gray, me in deep-necked green. Turning to me, he smiled and asked, "Are you in marketing?" Iron Man movie men. Did you see the movie Iron Man? I don't want to fan the flame of an impossible protagonist who can't love anyone. Problem is, I know guys like this one. They are technologists here in the Bay Area, totally absorbed in work, completely unaware who they hurt, and terrible in bed. Out of patience. Mr. SMS only, I refused your kiss. You thought you'd snatch one, a little afternoon bliss. I ducked and dodged so you'd miss. I'm sick of being bottom of your list and tired of our days getting canceled. I'm out of patience with you. Too many. A man I used to date had to keep a spreadsheet to keep track of what he said to all his different women. How can he enjoy any one companion if he can hardly remember anyone's name? Surfer. Listening to your stories of surfing the big waves lets me see into your days as a younger man who felt invincible, watching the tides, hearing the surf, smelling the ocean air, tasting its grit and salt, divining the next surge, grabbing life with all your senses. His wish come true. A man with too many women said, "Just once, I wish I could sleep in my own bed." His new girl immediately wished she had already sent him home. Sentence finishing.